Newark Terminal A has a new lease on life. It's been refurbished, and that includes a brand new United Club Lounge. What's all that shiny and new like? Step in with me as I give you an honest, unfiltered review of the lounge and my 3.5-hour domestic first class flight, all coming up. The United Club in Terminal A. It's okay. It's brand new, which is a huge plus. It's United. It's a United Club, and so what I mean by that is the design aesthetics are standardized, meaning this club you could find in Chicago, this club you could find in Denver. It has a very distinct United color palette. A lot of these kind of grayish, gray beige, taupe colors behind me, clean lines, a lot of modern design, but it suffers from the same thing that so many of the United clubs suffer from, and that is it feels very sterile. It has a little bit of a soulless quality to it that it can just feel like another place in the airport. A very nice place, a very clean place with really nice modern furniture, but what I feel like United suffers from is that it doesn't invest in art in the way that Delta does. If you go to the Delta Sky Club in LaGuardia, it's a gallery. It has this very distinct, polished, elegant sophistication that is one of a kind. You can't really see, you're not going to see that replicated club anywhere else in the world because of the art. They took time to bring in New York City artists to glam up the place and give it a fingerprint, an identity that is special. And that's the problem with United clubs. You have a really nice club here. Everything's really nice. It's perfectly so. It's like that straight A student who gets the A's, but they're not really committed to the subject. That's what it feels like here. It just feels soulless. You know, they have some design on the walls, but throwing together colors and throwing together shapes is, again, it feels generic. It feels sterile. That's some of what I don't like about the club. Other than that, it's a fairly spacious club. They've quartered it into different sections. So you have a lot of areas where you can have privacy, or if you are with groups, you can get together and you can have meetings. The downside about that is that there's actually no private areas. So there's no private soundproof booths. So you're out here in the open, like myself, having to do work that you may not want people to hear. So if you need to make a phone call, or if you have to do a video con, or you're doing a vlog, you're not going to have privacy in the way that you would if you were at the Delta Sky Lounge, where they have privacy booths. I think privacy booths is really a marker for clubs now that are excellent versus the ones that are like this club, which are just okay. They don't have the amenities that you really need and that you really depend upon, especially if you're traveling or you're working, or you need to get some stuff done and you need a kind of an insular private area to do it. United definitely suffers from that. The food is also not great. The food is very bland. For breakfast today, they had the egg, the sausage, the patties, the yogurt. Nothing exciting, nothing interesting. It's not elevated in the way that the American Express Centurion Lounge has that elevated quality of food, or Delta's Sky Club. So again, it hovers just above pedestrian in terms of quality. It's not quite there, but it hovers just one notch above it. There's definitely rooms, I think, for United to continue to improve upon. But overall, this club is okay. I mean, I got in without having to pay for it, so I'm not going to complain too harsh. But if I had to pay for it, I would be slightly disappointed in the offerings. All of Terminal A is refurbished. So you have some really nice public areas. you actually have public sculpture and public art outside, which actually glams up the place and makes it more sophisticated. You have floor to ceiling windows in the public areas too, so that claustrophobia that you tend to feel in Terminal B is not here in Terminal A. So all of the public areas in Terminal A are very nice. So a club like this is competing in essence for space, third spacing with the public areas, which are really not that far behind in terms of quality. So here's the thing with United Airlines. For me, it's been definitely a hit or miss airline when it comes to in-flight experiences. Sometimes they get it really right, and sometimes they get it really wrong. Sometimes the planes are total jalopies, I'm being honest, and sometimes they're on the newer end. I was flying from Newark to San Antonio this time. It was direct, and it was a 3.5-hour flight. I was praying that the plane was on the newer end, and it was. Thank God. I was in the first row, 1A. The first class cabin was refreshed, and the entertainment screens were the large ones, and they also worked. Sadly, these are not guarantees on United flights, as I have had to find out the hard way. Sometimes United has the old planes, especially when I fly back from San Antonio to Newark, the return, and sometimes they're so old that there actually are no screens, or the system is not working, which I don't understand, but that's another problem for another day. Today, however, it was a good flight. The flight left on time, the cabin crew were in a good mood, and so they made the flight a very pleasant one. And the food was decent too. Obviously, you can see the chicken, and that was fine, but it's nothing home to write about. What did, however, tickle my fancy was the banana pudding. Yum! Overall, I'm grateful. It was a smooth sailing flight, no hiccups, and good in-flight service. As far as I'm concerned, this flight was a win.